Hey guys, today's video is a compilation video of some of my past Dollar Tree Valentine's Day DIYs. A lot of you guys are new to my channel and said that you wanted one spot where you can see all of my past DIYs when it comes to the holidays, so this video is for you. I'm going to be sharing with you guys 15 easy to make Valentine's Day DIYs using Dollar Tree products, and all of them will have timestamps at the bottom of the video so that you guys can either watch the whole video or you can just go straight to the DIYs that you want to see. But these are some that I made in the past from my blog and from an early time during when I'm starting YouTube, so I hope you guys enjoy them, and stay tuned because there will be a part 2 one because I have so many more videos to share with you guys. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys another blog post from my blog, and this one has to do with creating a beautiful but simple craft for Valentine's Day. And I will talk you through the pictures, and like I said to you guys before, the picture quality is not that great, but you will get the idea of what I'm trying to explain to you guys. So if you would like to see how to make this beautiful Valentine's Day topiary, then stay tuned to this video. The materials that you'll need is a candlestick, a small styrofoam ball, some tacky glue, and flowers of your choice. And I found all these things at Dollar Tree, even the glue. Now the first thing that I did was I glued the styrofoam ball to the candlestick with some E6000 glue, which you can also use the adhesive glue from Dollar Tree, which works just as well. But if you want to reuse your candlestick, this step is not necessary. You can actually do the next step without gluing the ball to the candlestick. For the next step, what you're going to do is you're going to take all the flowers and pull them off the stems, and this is really easy to do with the fake flowers at Dollar Tree. Then you're going to apply a little bit of tacky glue to the flower so that you can attach it to the ball. When I was attaching the flowers to the ball, I like to start at the bottom so that I know I completely fill it all the way around. But you can start on any side that you would like, but you will basically take off the different type of flowers that you want and just keep attaching them until you have the topiary as full as you want it. And that is it guys for this simple and easy but beautiful Dollar Tree Valentine's Day DIY. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys recreate this, please tag me on Instagram or even show me the picture down below in the comments area, because I love when you guys take my DIYs and recreate them for your home and for yourselves, and I love to see how you guys put your spin on it. Hey guys, and welcome back to Ria's World of Ideas. So today's video is going to be another blog post that I'm bringing you guys from my blog, and you guys have been loving the blog posts that I've been sharing with you guys from my blog lately, which I am glad, because I did have a lot of good ideas on my blog back in the day when I did have a blog, and so I did want to share them with you guys. So today is another one that I want to share with you guys that I don't necessarily want to recreate because I don't decorate for Valentine's Day anymore, but when I did, I created some beautiful decor on a budget from Dollar Tree, and these DIYs that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today are so simple and so easy that you can do last minute to decorate for Valentine's Day. So if you want to see how to decorate for Valentine's Day on a budget but still have it be beautiful with things from Dollar Tree, then stay tuned to this video. So the first Valentine's decor idea that I want to share with you guys is to take things that you find at Dollar Tree and use them to decorate apothecary jars. Now these apothecary jars, I created them out of Dollar Tree items, and it was my last video that I shared with you guys, and if you guys have not seen that video, I'll put the link down below and also in a card so that you can see how to make your own apothecary jars. So for the first apothecary jar, I'm using the one that's kind of the wider one of the 3 that I've created, and I'm going to be filling it with some white and red kind of confetti paper, or they call it shred paper at Dollar Tree. You can make this on your own if you have a shredder at home. You can make this out of construction paper, but I'm going to put this decorative shred inside it with some heart picks, and I'm actually taking the red and pink hearts off the picks so that I could just mix them in with the crumpled up paper to decorate them inside of this apothecary jar. And this is how it turned out. For this next apothecary jar, I'm going to be using the jar that I made that kind of had a wider opening on the top. And what I'm going to do to decorate the inside of this one is I'm using these dangling kind of hearts that I found at Dollar Tree. And what I'm gonna do so that it will stand within the apothecary jar is I'm gonna take one of those picks from those heart picks and kind of stick it in the middle of these hearts so that it gives it like a stand to it, basically. So it makes it stand up within the apothecary jar. Because if you put this decor within the apothecary jar as is, it's just going to go all the way down to the bottom because it's kind of meant to be hung. So just take the picks that you didn't use from the heart picks and stick it through these hearts, and then it would be perfect for the apothecary jar. This last apothecary jar was the easiest to decorate. All I did was I took pink and red fake rose petals that they sell at Dollar Tree, and then I basically just filled the apothecary jar with them. But I made sure that I kind of intertwined them with the different colors. Like I wanted them to kind of like be combined, so it wasn't like a big clump of pink in one section and a big clump, a clump of red in one section. So make sure you mix it well so it gives it a pretty effect. For the next two DIYs, I'm going to be using these pink and red, kind of like heart gems, but they call them table scatters, to fill different candle holders and vases to make beautiful Valentine's Day decor. So for the first one, I'm going to be taking these square glass vases or candle holders, I don't know which one they are, and I'm going to be filling them with the pink heart gems or table scatters, if you will. And then I'm going to add some fake white roses that you can also find at Dollar Tree to kind of create a Valentine's Day bouquet. For the last DIY, I'm going to take this vase right here, and then I'm going to fill it up with the red hearts this time. And then I wanted to add a candle to it, so I took one of the white candles that you can get at Dollar Tree, and then I also took some Valentine stickers that they had that were kind of like some 3D stickers, and I picked out one that had a heart shape to it, and I decided to put it on the front of the candle. And then I put this candle within the vase to create this Valentine's Day decor. Hey guys, today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys some Dollar Tree DIYs that I created that have a Valentine's pink ombre farmhouse style theme to it. So the first DIY that I'm going to be sharing with you guys is how I created this floral heart-shaped wreath with these roses that I found at Dollar Tree. I love the color of these roses that they have out now at Dollar Tree, and I couldn't decide on just one of them. And I noticed that when I was holding all three of them in the store, they created like this cute ombre effect with them. So I decided why not use them all and create an ombre type of heart-shaped floral wreath with them, and that's what I did. So to create this wreath, I'm going to be using this heart-shaped foam type of decor piece, and I like this heart-shaped foam rather than the wire ones because all I have to do is cut the roses at the tip and they stick right into the foam heart, as opposed to if you use the wreath ones, you would have to glue it or tie it on. No, this one sticks right into the foam, so you can easily make them. You don't have to use any glue, you don't have to use any wire, nothing at all. They stick right into them. So I love this foam wreath for that. I mean, this foam shaped heart for that reason alone. You don't really have to use any other tools but just the roses itself. So I'm starting off with the white rose at the bottom and kind of working my way up. I was going to start like with the white and then go in with the lighter color and then move up to the darker pink. But then I decided I didn't know how many I would need for the whites at the bottom. So what I did was I just started with the white and then I went back up to the top with the darker of the color roses, and then started shaping them. Then started cutting them off and placing them on the top as well, and seeing how many I would need at the top, and then kind of starting with the top and the bottom and then filling in the middle, because I didn't want to like keep poking it and not knowing exactly how many I would need going up. So I figured if I started with the white at the bottom and then do some at the top and kind of go back and forth, then I would know how much I need in the middle. And so that's what I did to determine how many roses I would need to fill up this this foam heart. Now, depending on how many flowers you want to purchase and your budget, it will determine how your wreath will look. So this on the left side will show how it will look if you only purchase one batch of every color, and then This is how it look on the right if you purchase 2 sets of every color so that you can fill both the sides and the top of the wreath, which that's what I did. And this is how my Valentine's pink ombre floral heart-shaped wreath came out, and I just love how it turned out. And the best part about this DIY and all the DIYs that I'm showing you today, you can not only use it for Valentine's Day, but it can carry on all year round, because this will be perfect in a bedroom, in a craft room, for weddings. It can be in so many different types of decors because of the colors that I use in them, so it can be used more than just for Valentine's Day. And as you can see, this DIY was the inspiration to create all the other DIYs that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today that have a pink ombre theme to them as well. So now let's move on to these wooden beads that are very popular in the farmhouse style community, which I gave mine a little pink ombre Valentine twist to it. So for the wood beads DIY, I'm using this bag of wood beads that come in all sorts of colors and sizes that you can find in the craft section at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to be putting them around this vase that they have now at Dollar Tree that I think is such a great deal because it's so big and so beautiful. So it comes with a ribbon around it, and I'm going to take that ribbon and use it to measure out the size that I need to make my wood bead chain to go around the vase itself, just like the ribbon did. So I'm just laying it out and putting 2 kind of paints on top of it just to stretch it out so I can see the length that I need. Now in this bag of beads, it comes 4 different sizes, as you can see, and I laid out the ones that they had and how many came in it. And as I seen, I need 2 bags to actually make the bead set that I'm gonna make for this vase, because I feel like the larger beads in this bag go perfect with the size for this vase. But I also think the second largest size would be cute to make another bead set just on its own, which you will see me make in another DIY in another video. So to color these DIYs, I'm going to be using these basically stems that I from the flowers that you guys saw me use. I always like to use all my craft projects for everything. I don't like to waste anything. So I'm going to use these stems to basically put the beads on so that I can paint them. A lot of people use wooden dowels, but I found that why buy wooden dowels when I have these stems that I'm not going to use, that I can easily put the beads on, string them on, and then just stick them in the foam and paint them. So I'm going to be painting them this pink color that's called Camo Pink. It's Apple Barrel's Camo Pink that you can find at Walmart. And I felt like this pink was the perfect pink that went with the roses that I got from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to be using this as the base color for the pink. I'm also going to be using this foam, green foam piece that you can find at Dollar Tree to stick the stems in so that when I'm painting the beads, it has something to kind of stand up on and dry on. So I'm starting off with that pink color, that Camo Pink color, and I'm going to be painting these set of beads, which is basically only a set of 7 beads. I'm actually only going to use 6, but I have 7 on the stems right now. And then I wanted to start painting them at the bottom first before I stuck them into the foam, so that way I can get the bottom piece of the beads, because once you stick them in the foam, you kind of can't get to the bottom of the beads. So I like painting the bottom part first before I stick them in there. So then I'm just using the foam for like a stand and just keep painting the beads while it's sticking up, and you can adjust the size with the stems. So next I'm going to do is the white beads, and as you can see, I have 2 sets. I'm going to be painting them the Apple Barrel white, and I have 2 sets of them because I'm creating an ombre effect. It's going to go from white to that light pink to that dark pink, and the white is going around the back of the rim of the vase. So you need more white beads than any other color, because when it comes to the middle and you see that light pink and that dark pink that comes down on the chain, you need less beads for that. So that's why there's more beads that I'm coloring white as opposed to the other 2 pink colors. Now I'm gonna do that light pink that's kind of like that in-between color pink, and to achieve this, I'm just taking the Camo Pink and a little bit of the white pink and kind of mixing them together to create the light shade in the middle. Now this can this is not, I really can't say how much you need because it depends on how you guys want the color, but you just go back and forth with the Camo Pink and the white until you achieve that light color that you want, that's either the same color as the middle roses or the middle shade that you want. So just go back and forth with the color that you want. If you want a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, it all depends on you. But this is the color that I came up with that I liked. It was kind of like that in-between color, more of like a whitish kind of light baby pink, and then that was my middle color. For the heart at the end of these wood bead chain, I'm going to be using this pack of wooden hearts that you can find in the Valentine section at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be painting one of the bigger ones this same camel pink color that I painted the wood beads. Even though one of them was already pink itself, I wanted to keep everything the same color pink scheme that I'm doing, so that's why I painted over this one that was already pink with that camel pink that I have. Once the paint was dry on the wooden beads, now it's time to string them up, and I just used some fishing wire to string them up because I didn't want to have any type of string that you can see through any of the beads or even going down on the beads. So I wanted something that was see-through, so that's why I chose the fishing wire, and I'm starting with the white beads first. Now here I have all the white beads strung, and you can see that I have 4 of the lighter pinks on either side of the white beads. Now I'm going to wrap them around the vase and tie them at the end. Once I was done tying the string into a knot, I'm then going to take those 2 strings and attach the last beads, which are the darker pink beads, to those double strings, and then I will attach the pink heart to the end of this string with some hot glue. And this is how my pink ombre beads came out, and I think they look so cute by themselves on the vase, even without any greenery or flowers. But I wanted to add a touch of greenery to my vase because I wanted to bring this a little bit more farmhouse style touch, and I think greenery always does make everything look farmhouse. And I love how the vase looks with all the other DIYs that I've created. So now let me share with you guys how I made this love sign. Now to create my pink ombre love sign, all I did was I took this love sign that they have out right now in the Valentine's section at Dollar Tree, which I got it last year, but they have it out right now, and they have different ones as well. All I did was I took this sign and I basically divided it into 3 parts. I used my ruler to measure it out evenly into 3 parts, and I took those same 3 colors that I used to make the beads to paint onto this sign, and that was it. That's all I did to make this sign. And this is how the wood love sign came out. It was so easy to create, but I feel like that the ombre colors on this love sign make it look so beautiful, and I love how it goes with the other decor pieces that I created. Now let me share with you guys how I made that triple heart plaque in the back. For this DIY, I used these wooden hearts that came 5 to a pack that's also in the Valentine's section at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to be using 3 of those hearts and painting them the same 3 colors that I've been using in the other DIYs in this video. To create the backing for this DIY, I'm going to take these little plaques that I found at the Target dollar spot a while back. It was 4 of these plaques that spelled home, and there were 4 of them for like $3. So I'm going to take them and use 2 of them and attach them together in the back with popsicle sticks. Once the glue dried, I flipped it over and I'm going to paint over the H and the O with some white paint to completely cover it. While I waited for the paint to dry, I'm going to take the strings that came in that pack with the wooden hearts, and I'm going to take one of them and use it to create a little bow so that I can cover the hole that's going to be on the top heart. I attached the bow to the wooden heart just using some hot glue. Then I took some wood glue that I got from Dollar Tree and attached all the hearts together. So because one of my hearts is white as well as with just like the background, I thought that it was going to get lost with the background, so I wanted to add some dimension and color to the background. So I'm taking this Apple Barrel Glossy Dolphin Gray paint that again I got from Walmart, and I'm basically going to do a dry brush style on it to make it look like that aged wood look that I've showed you guys on my channel before. And basically you just take some paint and you get a stiff brush, tap off most of the paint off your brush and kind of just dry brush it around the edges and over your wood or your fake wood or whatever you're painting, and it gives it that aged wood look onto your piece, whatever you're painting. You don't want to get too much paint on your paintbrush because then you'll get all these big chunky pieces and it won't look right. So you definitely want to tap off as much as you can off of the paintbrush and kind of just dry brush it all around. So I'm just going to keep doing this back and forth until I get the color and style that I want on it. Once I painted my background the way I liked it, now it was time to attach the 3 hearts onto the background. And as you can see, because I've stacked the hearts on top of each other, they're not going to lay flat onto the background piece. It's either going to have the bottom sticking up or the top sticking up. So to prevent this, I just took a piece of tag board that I had, some extra tag board that I had lying around, and I just stuck it to the back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that piece first onto the backing, and then I will attach the 3 hearts onto that piece and also the backing itself, so it kind of lays flat all together. And I'm just going to use some wood glue to attach all these pieces together. And this is how it turned out. For my next DIY, I wanted to continue that ombre effect on wood. So I found this wooden heart, again, the Valentine's section at Dollar Tree. And you can use it to hang it, you can use it as a hanging decor piece because it does come with this string that's kind of like the farmhouse feel, which I like, but I'm not going to use it to hang it up, so that's why I'm removing the string. But you can keep the string and decorate it the same way I'm going to do it and keep the string and it'll be perfect. But I'm basically going to do this exactly like I did the love sign. I'm dividing it up into 3 pieces and I'm going to paint it those same 3 colors that I've been using in this whole video. Again, you can leave this wood heart as is and just hang it up like this. But I want to add a backing to this DIY because I like to add dimensions to my DIY. So I'm going to take this sign that again I found at the Valentine's section at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to basically paint it completely white. That's the first thing I'm going to do with it. And then I'm going to go in with that dolphin gray again and add some lines and some dimension to it to kind of age it up a bit to make it look like that aged piece wood put together. And that's going to be the backing for this heart DIY. I wanted to add some words or a touch of something to the heart. So I'm taking these decor pieces that they have right now in the Valentine's section at Dollar Tree. That's these galvanized kind of words, and they had them in fall and they had them in Christmas time. And this is the first time I've seen them in Valentine's Day. So they have one, it comes in a pack of 3. They have one that says XOXO. They have one that says love, which it has like love and like the lowercase letters, which I thought is cute. It's different. And then they also had the third one that said Valentine's. So I'm going to be using the one that actually says XOXO for this heart. And I decided that I'm going to place it right in the middle, and it gives it that little galvanized kind of farmhouse style look. And I'm going to attach it with some wood glue. Then I attached my heart to my backing with wood glue as well. If you want, you can attach the string that it came with back onto this sign and use it as a hanging sign. I liked using it up against my wall on my display tray that I created at Christmas time, this buffalo check display tray. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put the link down below so that you can check it out. But I love how it looks up against these love kind of farmhouse style wood blocks that I created. And I'm going to share with you right now how I created these with Dollar Tree items as well. So to create these little farmhouse style wood blocks, I took these foam dice from Dollar Tree, and I bought 2 packs of them, and you can find these in the toy section at Dollar Tree. And also to make these wood blocks, you're going to need some wood letters that they also have at Dollar Tree that's in the craft section if you want to add some sayings to it. I'm also going to be using these wood pack of hearts again to make the O in love. And the first thing that I did to make these wood blocks is I basically took the wood blocks and completely covered them with white matte paint, like the craft paint, the apple barrel paint that I buy at Walmart as well. You can get the little bottle for 50 cents, but I like buying the big bottle because I use white a lot. And so I have the big white bottle, and so that's what you see in here. But I'm completely covering it white, and this does take 2 coats because it is a blue color dye, so dice. So it does take 2 coats of white to completely cover it, but it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to be adding some texture to it. So when I completely covered it white, I saw that they look like big, huge marshmallows, and so I didn't want them to look like marshmallows. I want them to look like wooden blocks. So again, I took that dolphin gray glossy paint again, and I'm going to do that age distress look onto these dice as well on the edges to make them look more like aged wood as well, and to make them look more like dice, because I feel like when it was completely white they just look like big marshmallows, and that's not the look I'm going for. I'm going for a farmhouse style wood block look. So that's why I added a little bit of touch of the gray to make it look aged, because I feel like that's what makes it look more like wood. But you can do how you want. I just feel like if it's completely white it looks like big marshmallows. So for the wooden heart to make the O in love, I'm going to take the little small heart and I'm going to paint it that camo pink color that I've been using. And then for the letters, I'm just going to paint it black to kind of give it that farmhouse feel to go up against the white. And then I just took wood glue to attach my wood letters and my wood heart to the dice. And that is it, you guys, for my Valentine's Day Dollar Tree DIYs that had a pink ombre farmhouse style twist to them. Hey guys, today's video I want to share with you guys some more Dollar Tree Valentine's Day DIYs that I created, but this time I made these with a neutral kind of farmhouse style twist to them. So for my first DIY, I made over this Happy Valentine's Day sign that I got at Dollar Tree, which looks fine on its own, but I'm going to take some matte white paint that I found at Walmart. And I'm also going to take some beige paint that's actually called Khaki, that's also from Walmart. It's the Apple Barrel brand. And I'm going to paint over these signs. I am going to remove the ribbon that it came with because to make this more farmhouse, I am going to add some twine to it to be my new ribbon to go with the colors that I'm painting it. So for the part that says Happy and Day, basically the whole red part, I'm going to be painting it white. And then the beige part that says Valentine's on it, I'm going to be painting it that khaki beige, and then also using that khaki beige paint to kind of dry brush over the white to make it look a little bit more aged, a little bit like that aged wood look. And it did take me 2 coats of the white paint and 2 coats of that beige khaki paint to completely cover up all the color and the lettering on this sign. Once the white paint and the beige khaki paint was completely dry, now I went in with some more of that khaki beige paint to basically age the white parts of this sign to make it look like that aged wood look. And so to achieve this, I'm going to be using these 2 paintbrushes that I found at Dollar Tree now. It's like these new paintbrushes they have. I'm going to use this little pointed one to deepen the lines that are in this sign to kind of, deepen it like it looks like kind of like that those wood pieces put together. So I'm going to deepen the lines to make it look like the pieces of wood are all separate. And then I'm going to go in with that what they call a stencil brush to basically dry brush kind of like a little bit of that beige khaki paint onto the white paint. And you want to be very careful with that. Once you get some paint on that stencil brush, you want to tap a lot of it off of that paintbrush. You don't want too much on that paintbrush because you are trying to get this dry brush effect. You're not trying to get big blobs of that beige on there. You just want a little bit on it to make it look like it's aged wood, like it's wood that's been beat up and been through some time. And so you don't want to have a lot of the color on that paintbrush. So you want to tap it, get as much off as you can, and then easily or like carefully dry brush it over your white parts of your wood or white parts of your sign to just give it like that aged beige wood look. I wanted to add some words to the beige part of this sign, so I'm going to use these galvanized words that they have right now for Valentine's Day. They have love, XOXO, and Valentine's in it. There's 3 in the pack. And you see me use the XOXO one on my last video. And so for this video, I'm going to be using the love one, which you'll see me in the next DIY that I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to use the love one. But for this heart one, I'm going to actually use the one that says Valentine to put onto the beige part, the khaki part of this sign. And so to do this, all I'm going to do is I'm going to use that adhesive glue that I got at Dollar Tree that you guys have seen me use so many times in my DIYs. This adhesive glue from Dollar Tree is just as good as E6000. I love it. I always stock up on it when I see it at Dollar Tree. And so usually when I'm using these galvanized letters, I always use this adhesive glue to attach things to my projects, unless it's like a wood project that I might need wood glue for, but most of the time I use this adhesive glue, and it works great with these galvanized metal letters. And this is how the first DIY turned out, and as you can see, I added some rope to the top to be able to hang this sign, and it goes great with the burlap and the white. And I love how this is just a great neutral kind of farmhouse style way to decorate for Valentine's Day that's not necessarily pink or necessarily red, and it can go anywhere in your home. Now let's move on to that heart-shaped picture frame that I created as well, with the same type of color tones as this heart sign. For the next DIY, I took this plain cutout heart-shaped picture frame that I found in the craft section at Dollar Tree that they actually have all year round, and I basically painted it the same way that I painted the white part of the sign. I started off painting it that matte white, and then I went in with that khaki and made it, basically distressed it and aged it to look like aged wood. For the picture part of the picture frame, you could do anything you like. You could put a quote, you can print out something with love on it, anything you would like. But for me, I decided to just go in with the picture and I used a picture of my husband and my two girls because I knew I was going to add the galvanized love word onto it. So I didn't want to add like kind of a poem or type of saying or something, print out something and put it in that heart-shaped picture section, because then I felt like it was too much words. But you can do whatever you like. I'm using that adhesive glue again to add on the galvanized love words onto the wood, but I just decided to put my three loves, which is my husband and my two daughters, and just put the picture frame like that and actually use it as an actual picture frame. But again, you can do it however you want. If you want to add a poem into it, if you want to add maybe some moss in it, make it like some greenery, maybe some burlap, however you want to do it. But I just decided to just add a picture of my three loves. And this is how this DIY turned out. And this DIY can be used all year round. It's not necessarily just for Valentine's Day. So you can basically keep this up all year long. And it can be used in any part of your home as well. Now let's move on to how I dressed up some candles that I already had at home with some, neutral tones to give it like that Valentine's Day neutral farmhouse style touch. So for this DIY, I just took some candles that I already had at home, and also some burlap kind of lacy ribbon that I found at Dollar Tree a while back, and I'm going to wrap it around the candle itself. Now Dollar Tree has plenty of candles, and they have now just recently brought out these LED tall candles as well, so you could get them there, and you can also get some at Walmart that are pretty cheap and come around $1 as well. But I'm just going to wrap the ribbon around the candle and secure it with some hot glue, and then I'm going to take the pack. They have like these packs of wooden hearts at Dollar Tree. Like they're all different sizes and different shapes and sizes. And there's this one pack that comes with like multiple sizes, multiple little hearts and different colors that you guys saw me use in my last DIYs. So I'm gonna go in with the one that's just like the plain wood that's not painted at all. It's just that, just that unfinished wood. And I'm gonna take the backing off of it because that backing never really sticks well. So I'm just gonna take the backing off and use hot glue, and I'm gonna stick it to the middle of the ribbon. And that is it for these candles. They're really easy, really simple to make, and you can make them with any candles that you have on hand at home. And because I attached the ribbon with hot glue, I can easily take the ribbon off and reuse these candles for other, for other seasons and other type of themes that I want to use them for. Now let's move on to these kind of neutral type of Valentine's Day farmhouse style beads. For this DIY, I'm going to be using the wood beads that I found in the craft section at Dollar Tree that comes in a bunch of different colors and actually 4 different sizes. Now if you see my last video, I used the largest size beads to create kind of like some wood beads to go around this big jar. But for this DIY, I'm going to be using the second largest size to create these wood beads. So just like in my last video, in order to paint the beads, I'm going to take them and I'm going to string them along these stems that I have left over from when I created that ombre type of heart-shaped wreath. And I love using these stems to kind of like string along the beads so that they stand up and I'm able to paint them. And one of my viewers told me to actually keep all of them intact so that I'm able to paint multiple strings at one time. And I want to thank her for that tip because it really helped. Once I strung up all my beads, it was time to paint, and I'm going to go in with that same white matte paint to paint all the beads. Once the paint was fully dry on the beads, it was time to string up the beads. And I'm going to be using this twine that I found at Dollar Tree. They come 3 in a pack. And this type of twine can unravel very easily. So what I do to make it easier to string up these beads is that I cut a fresh point first. And then I take some tape and I put some tape around that point to kind of create kind of like a needle point so that it goes through the beads. Because this twine will unravel and won't slide through the beads like it needs to without a point. So take some tape and create basically kind of like a needle point so you can thread your beads easily with this twine. Once all my beads were strung up, now it's time to add my heart at the end and also to create my tassel. So I made sure that I cut enough string at each end so that I have, you know, some leeway to create things. Now, I do not know how to create a tassel. I never have. This is the first time I ever did one. So the way that I'm creating one is probably the wrong way. And there's probably better DIY videos on YouTube that can show you a better way to make it, but I just made it the way that I thought that it would be good, and I actually like how it turns out. I don't like things to be too perfect, so I like how mine turned out. But if you don't like the way mine turned out, there's so many other videos online that could teach you a better way to make it. So what I did was I just took some twine and I wrapped it around my finger to basically create, you know, what's going to be part of that, you know, to make the tassel. And then I just kept wrapping it into the thickness that I felt that I wanted, and then I slid it off my fingers. And then basically I'm going to take that extra string that I have at the end and then tie that string to I'm kind of loop it into what I'm going to loop it into the strings that I wrapped around my hand and tie them together. Then I cut off the excess string that was there after I tied the 2 pieces together. And then I took the other side where it's looped at and took my scissors and cut it in half to basically create the fringe part of the tassel. Then I took my hot glue gun and added some glue to the top part of this tassel so that I can glue on another piece of this string and secure it in place so that I'm able to wrap this string around the top part of the tassel and finish the, you know, the look of this tassel at the end of these beads. Now it's time to add a heart to the other end of these beads. Now for this you have 2 options. In Dollar Tree they have so many different type of hearts now, wood cutout hearts. They have this pack right here that has love on one side and it's plain on the other side. That these hearts are a little bit bigger, and they also have these pack of small hearts that you've already seen me use. Now for me, the big heart just didn't look right. I wanted my hearts to kind of match the tassel, and I felt like it was way bigger than the tassel. So I decided to go for the smaller heart. Especially because the way I'm going to be looping it around different decor pieces. So I took that unfinished heart from that pack, and again I'm taking off that backing from it, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my string. You can use a hot glue gun to actually glue the string onto the back of this heart, but for me, sometimes with the glue gun it has so much gunk in the back, so I didn't want to have all that gunk in the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just take some tape and then tape the string to the back of the heart. And you know, you can use as many pieces of tape as you want, and for me, I just like it because I know the way that I'm going to lay it, you're not going to see the tape. But depending on how you want it, maybe you want to have it just looped into something, and then you might want to use the big heart because the heart does have the loop. But for me, I know how I'm going to lay it, so the string is not going to be shown, so I just taped it in the back because I just rather have it like that. But it's all with preference on how you're going to use it and how you're going to display your beads, on how you want to add the string to the back of the heart. And here are how my Valentine's Day neutral beads turned out. And I like how they turned out. Again, my tassel is not the best, but hey, I tried. It was my first time ever making a tassel, and I tried. But I like the look of it not being perfect, because with farmhouse style, nothing's perfect. So it kind of goes with the style and the theme. But again, if you want yours a little bit more perfect, there's plenty of other videos out there that can teach you how to do it better. But this is just how I did mine. For my last DIY, I took this Valentine's Day hanging sign to create a flower box. And I did so by using a crate that I had already made a while back in the fall time. I made these wood crates, and I'm basically going to use that and take the piece of that sign that has the 3 hearts on it and just glue it to the front of that crate to create a new flower box for Valentine's Day. I love reusing the things that I already have in my home, because if you've watched my channel, you know I love saving money and reusing things. So the fact that I could take something that I already used back in the fall time and kind of change it up for Valentine's Day and not spend any extra money is a plus. So that's all I did, was I just took the sign and I just glued it to the front of this crate so that I could use it for Valentine's Day. And I love the colors that already came in here because it was already neutral and I didn't need to paint it. So for the flowers, I'm going in and I'm using these peachy roses and white roses that you see me use in my last video. The only thing is I'm not going to use the pink one because this is more of a neutral tone as opposed to the other one that was more of like pinkish and neutral tones. And this is how my flower box turned out. So that is it for today's video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this compilation video of my past Valentine's Day DIYs that I had on my blog and on my earlier times of YouTube. That's why the lighting and everything is different. I've come a long way, and you guys wanted this all in one spot, so I'm doing this for you guys. Let me know in the comments down below which one was your favorite, and if you recreate any of these DIYs, be sure to tag me and share the pictures with me. Stay tuned. I do have a part 2 of different DIYs that I did in the past for you guys to have all in one spot, because I have so many to share with you guys that I couldn't do it in one video. So stay tuned for that next video. It will be the other DIYs that I've made in the past from Valentine's Day. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Hey guys, don't forget to click on the picture in the middle of the screen so you can subscribe to my channel and get notifications on all the new videos that I put out. And check out these other 2 videos that I have posted on my channel on either side of my picture. Have a great day.